before them. And I must tell you, when we talk about the judiciary, we are referring to the judges, the magistrate. We are referring to the court. If you want to go to the judiciary as an institution of government, you go to the court. It is in the court that you see the judiciary. And when we say interpretation of laws, it's their primary function, because through them that we know the meaning of law. Now, let's look at the functions of the judiciary. Number one, interpretation of laws and the Constitution. Now, it means that they apply these laws that have been made in their rulings whenever a case is brought before them. They will apply this law, and it is in the application of these laws in their ruling that you know the meaning of that law. That you studied English language or a particular language in which the law is couched is not a guarantee that you know what the law is. It is when they apply it, however they apply it in rendering judgment, that is the meaning of that law. And they are primarily responsible for application of these laws in rulings, in any case brought before them. And that is what we call the interpretation of this law. The second one is they adjudicate cases and disputes. That is, they settle disputes or cases. It could be dispute between individuals. It could be between groups, organizations. It could be between the arms of government, because at times the legislature and executive can go to court against each other. It could be between levels of government. At times you hear in a federal state, the federal government, state government will sue the federal government. So they settle these disputes arising in the society. That's primarily responsible for that. Now, the judiciary is also responsible for the protection of rights of citizens. Because whenever your right is being violated as a person or even a citizen, you can go to the court for justice. So the court is the one that is responsible for rendering justice and ensuring that human rights are protected by making sure that any person that violates human rights is being punished. Of course, we talk about another function, which is punishment of offenders of the law. When you commit a crime, when you offend, when you go against any law of the state, you'll be prosecuted to the law court, and the court, the judiciary, will be the body that will pronounce judgment, punishment. The punishment can range from prison sentence, it could be death penalty, execution, it could be payment of fine, form of compensation. It could be withdrawal of some rights. So they are responsible for meting out the appropriate punishment to the offenders of law. Also, they serve as arbiters in the settlement in a federal system of government. Federal system of government where you have levels of government, they are responsible to settle the disputes between the federal government and any other level of government, or between or among levels of government. They carry out what we call judicial review. Judicial review is when the court renders the action of any other arm of government null and void, unconstitutional, and therefore of no effect. That is, when an arm of government has taken an action, the judiciary has the right to consider the action and see if it is within the powers as accorded by the law for this arm of government to carry out this particular function. If it is not appropriate, if the law does not grant such power to that arm of government, be it the executive or the legislature, the court will render such action null and void. But that is where it is brought before the court of law. Otherwise, they will not stand and take an action. And that is why people can sue individual organizations, can sue the government to court, for the court to interpret whether that arm of government has been given such power to carry out such function. They also redress injustice meted to individuals in the state. When your right is being violated, when you feel there is injustice meted out to you, go to the judiciary, the court. It is the court that will redress that injustice. It is the court that will see to your compensation for the injustice meted out to you.